What's Whip 'em Out Wednesday?
Oh,
people are hearing us in very warm climates right now.
Yes,
so.
where WOW would just be running rampant. What you do is you put a WOW on your vehicle, WOW, Whip 'em Out Wednesday. We have stickers. You can get one if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address that Opie will now give you.
111 West 57th Street,
Very good.
New York, 10019, I think.
Don't know the zip.
That sounds good.
5th floor, XM radio, Opie and Anthony, attention WOW sticker.
That's good enough.
Some kind of combo like that.
Something like that.
I think the address is up on opieandanthony.com.
You're right.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Then you put the WOW. Could be the sticker. Could be something you make. Just WOW. Put it on your vehicle somewhere. If you drive one of those big rigs, you just scratch it in the dirt on the back door of your truck. And then if a girl is so inclined, she will drive up next to you and flash her lovely breasts. It's like a little code thing on your vehicle. WOW. And it lets the girls know that listen to this program that you can flash their boobies.
And Anthony, Michael from ELYNIA, Ohio, did just that. I got his self-addressed stamped envelope right in front of me.
Are you going to stuff that envelope right now?
Look at me.
Live on the air?
Look at that. Stuffing it.
Oh!
And sending it off to good old Michael.
Don't lick it.
Huh?
Let someone do that with a sponge. You don't know what the hell they're putting on those things.
To rub this bag on it.
Oh.
That's what I would do.
LSD. There's LSD
Little
on
acid
remember?
on there.
Don't lick the envelopes. You get effed up with acid.
So one of those cold case file shows last night? You ever watch that?
Yeah, of course.
Had some girl that was murdered when she was, I guess, 13 years old. Murder went unsolved for 11 years. They had DNA of some sperm on her leg, and they saved that. And, you know, DNA processing leaps and bounds over the past few years. So 11 years later, they had a suspect, but they needed DNA from him. They send him a fake letter from a law firm saying that there's a class action suit and this guy's got money coming to him. Sent him an envelope to send back, stamped, ready to go. Just got to put some information in the envelope and send it. He licks the envelope, sends it back. They cut the part out that he licked, get a DNA sample off of that, matched it. It was a match. Arrest him.
Is that illegal, though?
I know. That's well, it came up in court that it was some kind of illegal thing that the cops did to get him, but they went with the prosecution.
Why not just send a Girl Scout over? You can send her. She can come back with a semen sample on her. In her cookie box.
So WOW is happening. Get the WOWs on your car and
Yeah.
join the fun. That
Right.
is Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Okay?
Absolutely.
Jimmy was pointing out a story in the paper that he wants to get into.
This is
It's beautiful.
Is this the G.I. Joe doll?
no. Another story from Iraq, though.
Page 2 of the Daily News.
Okay.
Handicapped bomber outrage. In Baghdad, insurgents used a mentally handicapped child as one of the suicide bombers who launched attacks on Iraq's election day, the country's interior minister said yesterday. A handicapped child was used to carry out a suicide attack on a polling site. Fallah said this is an indication of what horrific actions they are carrying out. He gave no other details, but police at the scene of the Baghdad blast Sunday said the bomber appeared to have Down syndrome.
Oh, no.
And the funny thing is that off the air, I read that, I was like really outraged, and Anthony goes, now they're thinking.
Well, you know, you don't want to use up your resources of people that could plan these things and think ahead. You want somebody that, and there's no fear there. You just kind of strap the explosives on him and tell him, you know, you press the button, candy comes out. And he can walk up, hit the button, and then it's over so quick. All you see is that fat tongue shoot out the front, the mo wig goes straight up. Mission accomplished.
Oh, my God.
So it's not like, you know, I mean, there's really no fear there.
Yeah.
You tell him you die, you go meet Allah, you get 70 colorful balloons.
If you die, he probably doesn't even die. He probably just stood there and went, uh-oh, and black smoke poured out of his dumb shirt.
Uh-oh, made poopy. Yeah.
Not really.
Too stupid to even die.
Is this a real thing that's happening, or is this the
Page-
Weekly World News?
Daily News, dude.
How many times have they used these Down syndrome?
Not enough. I don't know,
Kids.
His
actually.
face gets all blackened and his shirt collar peels back like a banana. In the next scene, he's fine doing it again. Sure.
It's because the
Are
police.
you using cartoon logic
Well,
on me?
I'm thinking perhaps could use them over and over again.
The police said that he appeared to have Down syndrome.
Yeah.
How bad is your Down syndrome when it's apparent after you've blown yourself up? That's a bad case of D to the S.
D to the S. A little taste of this in honor of that fine story that Jim just found. There's a bunch of retards singing.
Oh, Down syndrome children.
Can I point out?
Yes, Jimmy, sorry.
No, that's okay.
We haven't played that song in a long
It was
time.
fantastic.
That's one of our faves of all time.
There really has not been this much attention paid to a retarded bomber since Voss almost won Last Comic Stand.
I'm just picturing, like, March of the Wooden Soldiers, you know? As they're just waddling toward their targets.
Oh, no, that way. They got to get this way. He runs back to him and hits the button. No, go that way.
B-Man, what's up, B-Man?
Oh, man, first of all, I got the whole clue on these Mongoloid bombers. That's why they're wearing the turbans on their heads, to hide the giant foreheads. Second of all, you fucking guys are killing me with these songs. I'm going to hear this shit for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that'll be stuck in your head all day long, definitely. All right, well, that's a cute little story that Jimmy
adorable.
found. Thank you, Jimmy.
Page 2 of Daily News.
Front page of all the New York papers. Everyone's concerned about the Pope crisis. Prayers for Pope. Rushed to hospital with breathing problems. And Daily News, prayers for Pope. Breathing problems, hospitalized. Pontiff.
The guy's been hospitalized 1,000 times already.
And
He
what
was ancient.
What I found interesting on the news today, are we allowed to talk about the Pope without getting maybe fired if we say the wrong thing? You never know in radio these days, you know? But they're saying that prayers coming in from around the world and everyone's hoping for a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
You got to think that maybe they're not hoping for a speedy recovery.
You think the Vatican wants a new pope?
I think it would help their cause if they got a younger guy in there at this point, right? I mean, this guy can't even release a dove anymore the right way. I mean, that video is just unbelievable.
Oh, they show him releasing this peace dove from his window, and he lets the thing go. They got a still picture that is just horrific. His tongue is hanging out. His face is completely distorted, and his arms are flailing because I guess he just released this thing. And it winds up turning around, flying right back through the window and scaring the Pope out of him. He's just completely petrified. And then shortly after that, he was taken to the hospital.
He had his tongue out of his mouth as he was releasing the dove.
Yeah.
Which just shows he had to really concentrate on the act.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do when you have that tongue sticking out of your mouth.
Well, unless you're a suicide bomber over there.
Yeah, you're just concentrating extra hard is what it is. But I
I
don't know. I'm thinking that, you know, maybe they would want a younger guy in there. Here's a guy that's been doing it since, what, 79, 78, somewhere around there?
For PR reasons, absolutely you want the younger Pope in there. If you remember when this Pope first got into office, whatever they call that, he did a tour of the world. And I remember him coming to the United States. He came to New York. I guess he spoke at Madison Square Garden. And the crowds were huge. And it really kind of boosted membership, I guess you'd call
Membership
it.
in the...
A lot of people went over to
membership in the cult.
Catholic religion after he came over. I remember them selling T-shirts. It was like a rock star was showing up, you know, because he was relatively young then. He was the young Pope.
You know, I was at church recently. I mean, I was brought up Catholic, and I'm having a tough time with it in general, but I was at church recently, and you can't help but think it's a form of a cult. Everyone just lining up to receive the body of Christ, and they're just chanting, and there's a whole way of doing it, and then step to your left after you receive.
All religions are cults.
Yeah.
In one way or another, they're all cults. It's something. There's no proof of it. It's totally based in faith. and there are rituals and things that you have to do. Yeah, it's there's no difference between a cult and organized religion.
Is this true? Let me go to, I don't know his name, but he has something to say from Long Island. Long Island guy, what's up?
Yes, good morning. How are you guys?
Morning, what's
up, sweet tits?
How are you? Just eating a little breakfast, trying to have some fun today.
Yes, how are you? Listen, you know when a bird flies into your house, Anthony, you can back me up, an old Italian proverb.
Yep.
You're dead. Somebody's dying in the house.
That's true. It's a bad omen. It's
totally bad omen. So, I think the Poper is on his way.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, I just thought it was interesting that people are praying for a speedy recovery all around the world. I don't know, man. You know, the Pope knows where he's going. He has complete faith. He's probably ready to go, and I think as far as the Catholic religion goes, it might be helpful to have a younger guy in there at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a younger guy in there. He could start touring the world again. Doesn't have to, when the Pope tours, they put him in that thing. You either carry him around or let him drive that Pope mobile around. And they don't even do that anymore.
No.
So, I think it would help out the Catholic Church if they got a new Pope in there.
And how do you get a new Pope?
Well, this Pope dies, and then what do they look at cardinals? Mm-hmm. They have nominees or something, and then
is Simon gonna help decide? American Idol auditions for a new Pope.
Pope Idol.
That would be the best.
What business do you have even being here?
You look ridiculous with that red hat on.
They come out, yeah. I want to be Pope. Yeah. No, they gather in a room. Yeah, they could have the American Idol judges gather, and then the smoke puffs out of the chimney when they make a decision, and you have a new Pope. Well, I don't know.
Well, that's a huge story, and we're following that closely here on the Opie and Anthony program.
I like seeing the two different headlines on the papers today, on the New York Daily News and the Post today, because Pope Crisis is the big headline with the Daily News and Newsday, but New York Post decided to go with Yogi Berra's $10 million sex suit.
The Post stinks.
The Post, just this sensationalist
the
crap.
Post is barely a newspaper at this point. Not that the Daily News is much better here in New York. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't have a real newspaper in New York anymore.
No.
Because then you got to go all the way to the other side with the New York Times, which they just, they just try to show how cool they are with all their big words.
Oh. The Post is the worst. I'm surprised today they didn't have a Mongoloid bomber with dynamite over it.
Right.
Just a picture of him staring off stupidly.
I understand you got to sell papers and stuff, but when there's a story as big as the Pope possibly on his way out, and you choose to go with the Yogi Berra story, you got a problem somewhere.
Yogi Berra Sex in the City lawsuit.
Yeah, Berra Yogasm is worth $10 million. He wants $10 million for this. Sex and the Yogi. No way, says Yankee legend Yogi Berra. The Hall of Famer is suing Turner Broadcasting System for $10 million, claiming his moniker was tainted when it was used in a racy ad for Sex in the City. Berra is fuming that his name was an answer to a multiple-choice question asking for a definition of a yogasm. Do you know what a yogasm is, Anthony?
I am proud to say I have no idea because I've never watched that awful show. No. That horrible, horrible girls that think they're hot show. Ugh.
Well, and every girl in Manhattan is now thinking they're as cool as the girls from Sex and the City, by the way.
You wouldn't give one of those slobs a second glance if they walked by you in the city. You absolutely wouldn't. I saw, what's her name, Kim Cattrall and Mario Cantone walking down the street, and Mario looked better.
What are you trying to say, Noah?
Mario's kind of cute.
What are you saying, Noah? All right, well, it was a multiple-choice question asking for a definition of a yogasm. Choice B was sex with Yogi Berra, and he's outraged by this.
That's it? That's the whole basis of the lawsuit?
Yeah, he's outraged.
Because they said yogasm.
Yogi, that's...
And his was one of the wrong answers.
Yeah, choice B was sex with Yogi Berra. Wrong answer. The correct answer was C, what Samantha has with a guy from yoga class.
Oh, she's such a whore slut bag. Oh, it's so funny.
That's terrific.
You see the one where Samantha gets a mouthful of AIDS and dies? I loved that episode. What a whore.
I tell you, those gals give it as good as any guy, though. I'll tell you, you don't want to get on their bad side.
No.
Berra is a married man and his children Berra is a married man and has children and grandchildren. He is deeply a religious man who has maintained and continues to maintain a moral lifestyle and has a spotless reputation for integrity, decency, and moral character.
He's like Superman. Wow.
Can Yogi Berra just stop and relax? Who cares?
It's, his name is part of our,
It's Americana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yogi, don't worry. No one wants to have sex with you, okay? Look in the mirror. No one's going to, confuse having sex with you.
Yeah.
Your name
Ever.
fit.
Ever.
Oh, thank God Sex in the City, though, is on TBS and stuff because, seeing nude chicks wasn't the only reason to watch that show. Well, TBS, they cut all that out. Cut the cursing out. Anything that might have been, and like I said, I wouldn't have sat for 3 seconds to watch this show, even when it was on HBO. But now you take it. It's like, I think, was it A&E just won the rights to rebroadcast The Sopranos?
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Why bother? You're watching The Sopranos because it's not on television, on regular TV that can't say the F word or show graphic violence. Yes,
they announced yesterday that the A&E reruns, they have alternate scenes that they're putting in that were already shot, that they're going to replace certain scenes during the day, but after 10 o'clock, they're going to show the originals.
But without any editing.
With the violence and everything, without any editing.
Language,
just
violence.
Like the F and the S bombs, but
well,
other
that's
than that.
but they got it. That's what I'm talking about. It's the gritty realism in their language that people enjoyed watching The Sopranos. If they put The Sopranos on NBC when it first came out, it would probably have been gone, first couple of years. And it needs that.
And all of a sudden they say, freaking?
Yeah, that's what you want to say.
That when you see all those cool movies on
Freaking.
regular TV. Oh, you freaking. Oh, stop.
You mother faker.
Oh,
They say mother faker?
Oh, yeah.
mother faker.
Huh. Someone has a problem with us. Let's say hi to Mario in Virginia. Mario.
I don't need
Hey,
your
guys,
shoot.
what's up? Hey, if I remember correctly, you guys weren't that tough talking about the girls from Sex and the City when you had Sarah Jessica Parker on the phone with you.
Yeah,
What?
She did smash us pretty good. Well, we were humbled.
We
humbled.
were?
A
I
little-
think we still said she looked like Ruth Buzzy.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to listen to that interview again. It is a great little story for the new listeners. Anthony and I were talking about Sarah Jessica Parker. She was hosting some award show, and we
MTV
I forgot.
Movie Awards. I
Okay,
think.
and we went on the air the next day and said, "Wow, doesn't she look like Ruth Buzzy in a dress?"
She does.
She looks a lot like Ruth Buzzy used to look, that just kind of a horse face, and I'm sick of people thinking that she's a sex symbol. She's not that hot.
No.
So we said all this on the air, and all of a sudden there's a phone call, and it says Sarah from New York, I guess, or
Yeah, she
whatever.
was calling from a cab.
And was it a cab?
Yeah, because one of our cab driver friends, I guess, had our show on in the cab.
No. Well, no. Maybe she was calling from a cab, but how the story goes is she was in her trailer getting makeup or whatever for the show when they were filming, and the guy in there was a huge fan of the show and had it on.
Wow, I heard
So-
the cab thing.
Oh, really? Wow, now we got to get to the bottom of this.
I remember it as she was in a cab, and she called from the cab because she had heard us goofing on. Because she called right away. It wasn't one of those things where she called hours later.
Yeah.
She called as we were goofing on her.
I
So-
thought she was calling from the set.
I don't know.
Little
I remember it as-
controversy here.
I remember it as a cab.
little
I believe it was a
controversy.
cab. I've heard the replay. I wasn't in at that point. I believe it was from a cab. So I remember
I got this one
Our
real
lunatic
wrong, huh?
listeners would know also.
They'll figure it out.
chime in.
They'll figure it out. We'll have an answer to that. But basically, she heard the whole rap of us, saying how ugly she was and this and that. And then she goes, I bet you guys are nothing special to look at. And then she gave us an invite to come down to the Sex and the City set. And so we could show our faces, so she could ridicule us, and we're like, fine, we'll go. But then we were gonna send models with roses and stuff, saying,
Yeah, we were going to send male models down there. Hi, how are you? I'm Opie and Anthony.
I'm Opie, and this is Anthony.
Hey, how
and
are
we
you?
are perfect. Look at our abs.
very funny.
Yeah.
And but
The difference is, I don't try to portray myself as a sex symbol. Like these old, like Kim Cattrall. I'm sorry, I don't see it. She puts these dresses on at these award shows. She has square Lego tits. You seen them? She puts it in these dresses. Her tits are flat on the bottom, square. This bunt is hanging out from her dress. She, maybe when she was Lassie in Porky's. Remember Porky's?
Oh, yeah.
She was the one that was screaming
was
and
the
howling
moaner. She was
as
the
Lassie.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
She was the moaner in that movie, and she wasn't that hot in that
Above the
movie when she was
gymnasium.
younger.
No.
What made that so hot was the sound she was making.
She was also fully nude. They showed full frontal nudity. She had a big, nasty
remember.
70s bush going and everything.
That was the groundhog
Yeah.
coming out of its hole.
But she was, you know what it was? She was younger, a little tighter. Now it's just, I'm tired of these old broads parading around on television with everyone thinking they're hot. It's, maybe some older guys are looking and, in front of their wives. They don't want to look at, turn on the OC and start looking at those girls because they look like perverts looking at it.
Yeah.
Turn on an episode of Smallville and look at them, It's maybe it's safe for them to go, hey, that's an attractive girl, and that's about as far as they can go, But I don't see it.
Well, the end of the story, so we kept calling her people. I mean, she gave us all sorts of phone numbers, We were definitely going to do this and go down there and say, what the hell? We'll take our beating. She could smash us. And then turned out that she kind of blew us off.
Yeah.
She wasn't brave enough to actually face us on the set. Know what happened there? I think she was, but her people got to her and said, do you really want to be, socializing with a couple of shanks? Do you really want to be seen hanging out with a couple of shanks?
Two emails coming in.
Yes, Anthony.
She called from her freaking trailer.
I'm
is
telling
one,
you.
and the other one, I have the MP3. It was from a cab. So,
damn it.
Wait, she was in a cab. I heard it. I listened to that show a few days ago. I think she called from a limo. She was in a cab.
Yeah. That's the beauty
Opie's right. I have an MP3 of it. Opie's right. Ant's wrong. She was on set. She was in a cab. So these people have no clue.
That's the beauty of the show. You hear that guy? I heard that show last week.
Yeah.
People are listening to our old shows around the world at this point. You go to oavirus.com and you can hear all sorts of old stuff that we talk about. So you can get caught up if you're a new listener. oavirus.com.
It's nice they're listening and no one knows what they're talking about, though. They're listening and
I know.
everyone has no idea what's going on.
It's the same amount of people saying both ways. And both camps here are saying that they just heard it, have listened to it, and it's on my computer. I have the audio. It's from the set.
It's getting crazy. A lot of people just downloading our old shows to their iPods and all sorts of stuff. oavirus.com if you want to get caught up. But, Anthony, you say cab, I'm saying trailer.
I say cab, yeah. I remember it as her being in a cab. Well, I don't know.
All right. Pope health crisis. Breaking news.
Can I tie up this last story before we do that? Because I just found more information.
On what?
On the retarded bomber.
Oh, yes. Please.
You're obsessed with the retarded bomber.
I love that Jim searches out these stories.
I was wondering why he wasn't talking for the last 10 minutes.
Well, this was in the post.
I saw you grab another paper going, I know there's another angle on this story somewhere.
I just do it's not much more, just to finish it up.
All right, go ahead.
He was 19, he had the mind of a 4-year-old. And people who knew him said he was mindless, but he was mostly happy, laughing and playing with children. And the family believes guerrillas seized Amar, loaded him with explosives, and sent him on his way to the polling place like a guided missile. But he apparently detonated the bombs before reaching the intended target, and no one was injured.
So no one got hurt?
No
really?
one was injured.
All right, that
except
makes
dummy.
That makes me feel better.
Just walks into the middle of an open field.
3 butterflies were found dead. Stupid.
Oh, just big oversized shoes in the middle of the field. And mess all around it.
Mindless idiot.
Cotton candy by its side.
Mindless but happy.
Oh, played with the children.
John in Jersey.
Yo,
Go ahead, John.
what's up? I know where you talked to Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah?
She was in her trailer, but her driver heard the radio station and then told her, and then she called in.
Oh, boy. Now we're going to have to get to the bottom of the story, because now it's a thing. We made it into a thing now. It's a thing. All right, John, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Now someone's saying we're both right. She called twice.
What?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Someone will figure that out, I'm sure, on one of the message boards.
Let me say. She called from a trailer. She called you guys out and asked you to come down to the set. Yeah, but I think people are being confused that she was on set because she asked us to come down to the set. But I don't think she was on the set.
Well, if she called from her trailer, that's on set.
Offered to come down to the set. You offered to ask the O&A Army to bring flowers. You asked her, is Matthew going to come down and fight us? It was the day of the roast of Jimmy on the show. I guess Patrice and Voss were in.
But I didn't even think I was a part of the show at that point yet. Was I really? I didn't know.
All right.
Well, I thought it was
everyone
way before
is
then.
Completely confused.
It's a developing story.